My good friend Riggs Eckelberry, the CEO of OriginOil, stock symbol OOIL, originoil.com. We did a segment called Small Caps Are People Too, and kind of followed this company for the last year, and have really seen some interesting stuff, some great news of late. Riggs, welcome, sir. I'm sorry you couldn't come in the studio today, but it's good to have you along anyway, sir.
Well, I'm happy to be talking to you from my offices on Adams Boulevard.
Well, I'll tell you, your offices are nicer than our studio anyway, and and I think you're happier that you're there. Hey, Riggs, first of all, I know we picked up a couple new cities on television that may not be familiar with OriginOil quite yet. Let's give us a 50-cent tour. Give us the elevator pitch on what OriginOil is all about, and then let's get to what the latest news is.
Well, the 55-cent tour actually is that OriginOil is a company with a core technology for separating contaminants out of huge amounts of water using a special electrical pulsing process that we've perfected in the algae industry, extended into oil and gas, aquaculture, organic waste, and more.
Well, as you're seeing there on television, and on radio, I know you can't see this, but if you go to originoil.com, it's very clear there, about the water separation and the different verticals that they're involved in. What's the latest news, man? Because this every week I see this huge release that comes out, and you guys will not stand still for anything, and which is obviously a great thing. But you keep surprising me on the latest news. What's going on now?
Well, Sully, your listeners have got to sign up for the CEO update that I send out. Just sign up at originoil.com. It's a newsletter sign up. This week I announced that our showcase oil and gas water cleanup system will go operational in March with a huge public launch. We're going to get elected officials just like we did back in December in Southern California. And this time it's going to be on the Monterey Formation, which sounds romantic, but it's actually Bakersfield, okay?
Yeah, Monterey. You had me all ready to go to the coast.
No. So we've got our first licensee, which is pacewater.com, and they're building a 1,500 barrel per day water processing system that incorporates their technology. As you know, we license our technology to be embedded in other people's systems so as to get to market quickly and leverage what we've got. But we're also going to have our own system there. It's going to be very exciting. And so Monday I teased that we were doing this.
Yeah.
It's definitely happening in March.
You are a tease.
So,
thank you.
Yep.
So what does this mean? What does this mean short term? What does this mean long term, Riggs?
Okay. Well, short and long term is that Senate Bill 4 was passed in September and came into effect January 1st of this year to permit fracking in this state. Meanwhile, we have a 500-year drought that has begun. So it's a major issue. The fracking is going to happen. Why? Because California's got to pay its bills. But we've got to get in as much as possible, recycling of water, making sure these are clean practices. We can't add to the burdens that are already on the state.
So you're pulling out algae, you're pulling out all kinds of crap. Any chance of pulling salt out of water?
Why would you? Oh, I mean, for drinking water?
We don't do salt.
I know, I don't do salt. I saw your bumper stickers.
So, but my question though is, Riggs, and I think this is a valid one. You talk about mandates, and mandates are good for businesses like yours, and this is just one state. Can we see? I mean, are we expected to see more legislative action like this across the country? Because if you do, that only means better business for you, correct?
Well, sure. And there's fracking going flat out in Texas, for example, and they have a massive drought. And then, of course, Pennsylvania is doing a lot of fracking, and then they're sending the water to Ohio, and Ohio's going, well, wait a minute, you're sending us dirty water. Where's our revenue? So there's a lot of dirty stuff going on. And the fact is, with the new fracking techniques and the horizontal drilling, you can get oil out from under the Empire State Building. The question is, what do you want to mess up? And so we've got to have sustainable practices.
Let's talk about you talk about mandates. The food supply is very restrictive here in the States, and I know you guys are in the aquaculture space. Would you say that aquaculture within this country, and with specifically regarding farmed fish, are we going to see more laws that may benefit you guys as a company, or are they pretty restrictive already, and you guys are just now it's just for the taking?
Well, in fact, last week we announced that we had our first accord in aquaculture a deal with an Israeli company that is a leader in zero impact aquaculture, meaning that they use virtually no water at all to get to farm fish, which is amazing because instead of using 5 billion gallons a year, they're using 500,000. And so that's very much needed. These are clean practices, and they just need, to solidify this technology with our embedded process and then roll it out worldwide. Now, the U.S. is not big in aquaculture. It should be.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why we should be letting, Ecuador make farm all the fish for us.
That's what I'm doing.
So I think there's an opportunity to grow the, fish farming in the U.S.
Well, and Riggs, I want to talk about that. When we get back from the break, I want to talk about exactly that because I think you think about right here in San Diego.
Yes,
Carlsbad's got is farming mussels and right there off the warm water jetties.
Mm-hmm.
We have other places. I know Hawaii has fish farms. I know
koi.
I know that
you don't eat them.
You don't. That's not.
They look good
that's
though.
Not what they're talking about.
Same thing.
We don't care
Same
what
pet.
the koi are eating because we're
animal.
not eating the koi.
Here we go.
But I do want to talk about that because I think it's important to kind of jump into that side of things. And Russ heads to North Dakota tomorrow. We can't. I can't talk to Riggs, and knowing Russ is going to North Dakota without talking about the Bakken oil fields.
Yeah.
Because there's an opportunity there as well. The name of the company is OriginOil. OIL is their stock symbol. OriginOil.com is their website. Riggs Eckelberry is the CEO. He joins us again at the 35, along with Wayne Allen Root. Stand by. More Big Biz coming up. Riggs Eckelberry is with us from OriginOil, stock symbol OIL, and, of course, their website, OriginOil.com. Part of our small caps are people, too, here. Riggs, I want to talk some more about this aquaculture when we get you back next week. But Russ heads off to Bismarck, North Dakota tomorrow, and,
right?
In the lovely Bakken state.
God.
Well, Riggs, when you see that North Dakota has now surpassed Alaska as the second largest oil producing state, does that make your mouth water? Is that good for you guys?
Well, it's wonderful for us, and here's why: because North Dakota has been going through a hell with this infrastructure. You have hundreds of trucks rumbling down those roads, delivering water for the frac jobs, for each frac job. That is very difficult on municipalities. Mm-hmm. By recycling the water at the wellhead, we're able to dramatically reduce the truck trips. The operators know this. The municipalities are starting to demand it. So I think we have a perfect storm here to adopt sustainable practices to keep the water clean.
So the interesting part, I guess
it keeps getting better every time he talks about one element. It's like, well, that saves the roads, it saves the gas, it saves so much. Yeah.
The story does get better.
Who knew?
Riggs, what's something I don't ever get to ask you very often, because I know you're limited on what you can say as a CEO of a public company, but do you guys have like a 3-month plan, a 6-month plan, a year plan, and a 5-year plan, or are you guys? Is it just growing so fast
just
now?
Winging it.
I don't want to say winging it, but I think you know where we're going with this. I mean, this can't look like what your business plan looked like a year ago.
Certainly, and Russ, I just want to let you know, I was happy to get through traffic this morning.
Yeah, perfect.
He's happy just to make it through, it to the office there.
But seriously, I'll give you an example. Right now, we're on plan in the Middle East. Bill Charneski, our COO, just came back from the International Petroleum Conference. Lots of deal making there. That the Middle East right now is going through a crisis too, because the water ratio is increasing dramatically as petroleum reserves deplete, and now they got to figure out what to do with the water. They didn't used to have to worry about it because it was almost no water.
Yeah.
So again, big opportunities. What do we see here? We're continuing to invent, continuing to refine the technology. Meanwhile, we're looking for the highest leverage licensees possible. We are moving quickly towards our profitability stage, our cash flow even. But our backers have made it clear the most important thing to do is to get the technology right, get the right licensees, and everything else will follow. And we're on track for that.
All right,
That's
very good.
great.
Riggs, thank you so much, pal. We'll see you in studio next week.